from being one of the best pro boxers of our generation
Most dangerous power puncher in the heavyweight division.
to being criticized for trying to be like the greatest of all time. It seems like Tyson Fury is trying really hard to copy Muhammad Ali. Here's how. You see, Alexander Usyk just called Tyson Fury out for trying too hard to be like Muhammad Ali. And I gotta say, it was about time the undisputed WBA, IBF, WBO heavyweight champion pitched in on the Fury controversy. The unified WBA, IBF, WBO heavyweight champion has spoken out against the Fury controversy. And let's be honest, fans are aware of the bout between the two, in which all 4 world belts would be on the line. Falling apart had something to do with Fury. Usyk now claims that Fury was only trying to play everyone and was never genuinely serious about going ahead with the fight. Talking to Volodymyr Kobokov, Usyk added that he took the hint during the negotiation phase that it was not happening, even after the Ukrainian accepted Fury's 30% take it or leave it split ultimatum. Negotiations over the finances of a rematch broke down, and both teams declared it was off. Both boxers have come under fire for their inability to close the deal, although Usyk's promoter, Alex Krasiak, acknowledged that their group was ultimately the one who pulled the plug after the other party's non-serious attitude. But hey, that didn't stop Usyk from dissing the Gypsy King. He said that the Brit was overplaying his hand by mimicking the all-time great Muhammad Ali. I mean, he's not the first one saying it. There is a history of even the fans comparing the two legends of the sport. But hey, I think the biggest loss here was for the fans. They better renegotiate because this year is looking kind of dry. Anyway, Usyk is now considering his next bout and claims that his next opponent will be Daniel Dubois by the end of the summer. The guy did admit that it would look disappointing in comparison to the major fight with Fury. But what else could the Ukrainian do to get Fury to fight? The guy has been more or less MIA ever since his brother defeated YouTuber Jake Paul. But rest assured, the retirement rumor won't last long, as Fury's management has kind of hinted he'd fight 3 times this year. And look, maybe he's taking time to work on himself. After all, you gotta keep working to get that Ali level of love. And frankly, you can't deny that there is some similarity. Fury is by far one of the dopest fighters you can watch. And according to Bob Arum, who's the Gypsy King's promoter, there are significant parallels between the two greats.
It's hard to keep the fight together under those circumstances.
Yeah, the personalities are way too different, but the love of the general public is the sweet common ground. Ali was more than just an athlete, he was a political symbol as well. What wasn't thrown at him that he overcame? As I keep saying, it's very difficult to compare people from 2 timelines. Tyson is a pure entertainer, and his only goal is to break his idol's record. So let's look at how their fighting styles match up. I'm gonna say one thing. In my opinion, Tyson Fury possesses the finest defense among heavyweights, and he has nearly perfected it within the confines of his boxing technique. A free-moving giant, if you will. It's unquestionably an undervalued aspect of his boxing repertoire, and he makes use of it. Standing 6 feet 9 inches tall, with one hell of a reach, which is undoubtedly helpful, Fury has also honed his footwork and enjoys keeping his opponents on their toes, since they can never quite figure out his timing. Like Fury says, he tries his best to copy everything Ali did. And even though Ali was undoubtedly a dangerous attacking force in the ring with his arsenal of weapons, his defense was kinda lit. He was everything but a textbook boxer. Hands low, head pulled back. If you have ever boxed, you know trainers advise against it. A big factor in Ali's defense was his quickness, which made him too much for most of his opponents to handle. Sports Illustrated used an omegascope to check the speed of Ali's punch back in 1969. It was discovered that his punch was as quick as a real blink of an eye, smashing a wooden board 16.5 inches distant in a fraction of a second. Ali was quicker than most lightweights for a man of his size and height. He threw his combos quickly and precisely, almost like a laser. And it wasn't just the hands either. I'm talking agility. He moved about the arena with efficiency and effectiveness, and he never stopped moving during any of his battles. It was his signature. signature. This reminds me of the whole float like a butterfly, sting like a bee thing. Heavyweights aren't supposed to be able to move around their opponents the way he did. He bounced, shifted his feet, sprinted, launched feints, and turned around his opponents. Coming back to Fury, yes, speed is not his thing. But come on, the hip movement and the ducking, for someone of that size, it's pretty amazing. If you remember him against Wilder in their first fight, where he was able to dodge the massive right punches that were coming his way while rotating from the left hooks. It was so incredible that people at the time compared it to Canelo's head movement. And hey, so what if he isn't as fast as Ali? He has his way to utilize his size, using body mechanics to deliver punches that are just powerful enough to make his opponents respect him, while he avoids going all out when they do attack him. Due to Tyson being so much bigger than the bulk of his heavyweight opponents, his inside game also has a significant component. Fury engages his body weight in a way that prevents the opponents from coming too near, but he also takes advantage of this clever opening to use his forearm to position shots when they are close by. If you want an example of it, go watch the Cunningham fight. So yeah, Usyk can keep saying what he wants, as even Tyson thinks he is the most accurate imitation of the boxing legend. Hell yeah, you are. Who else would it be? Jake Paul? Okay, so everyone is familiar with Ali and his style, and even though Tyson was somewhat mimicking the legend previously, he displayed something totally different in his last bout against Wilder in their rematch. Tyson came out completely differently, applying pressure and going for the knockout right away, putting the American KO specialist on the back foot. In this match, Fury was coached by Sugar Hill, the Kronk Gym's well-known trainer, Emmanuel Stewart's nephew. In this bout, the Brit demonstrated how to use Kronk style, which involves applying pressure by walking down your opponent and using a rangy, reliable jab to build up a straight power shot that would knock them out. However, it was extremely different from his typical footwork, short jabs and counterpunches. And no, I'm not saying that Fury was like the great Thomas Hearns, who used this approach throughout his career, but it was a nice touch. So, coming back to Usyk's statement, I'm gonna say that for a purist in boxing, Tyson Fury is one of the most interesting fighters to watch today because of his fighting technique. The Gypsy King may not be the strongest puncher in the world, but every time you watch him, you'll see something new. So, is he a bad copy? Not really. Is he as good as Ali? Well, can anyone be? No, right? He is as close as you can get, because the GOAT set some standards that are too good to be true. Plus, one is a pioneer, and the other is just trying to idolize him. And still, while Fury has achieved a great deal in his career, including defeating Vladimir Klitschko to win the unified WBA, IBF, WBO, and IBO heavyweight titles, he has not yet reached the level of greatness that Ali achieved. However, Fury is still active in the sport and has the potential to continue to build on his legacy in the coming years. Having said that, this was all about Tyson Fury trying hard to copy Muhammad Ali, which isn't a bad thing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.